Welcome to a brand new video. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because today we're going on an epic journey together. Oh, and while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up if you're excited for what's coming. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's dive right in. You ready? Let's go. The Alien and Prometheus universe introduces us to one of the most ambitious and enigmatic figures in science fiction history, Sir Peter Weyland. As the founder and visionary behind Weyland Corp, he was not just a businessman or an industrialist. He saw himself as a creator, a pioneer, and in his own mind, perhaps even a god in the making. But what was he truly seeking? Wealth? Power? Knowledge? Or was there something even deeper, something far more personal? Peter Weyland was obsessed with the nature of life and death. He believed that humanity was on the brink of something extraordinary, and that with enough time, technology, and ambition, he could uncover the ultimate truth of existence. His real goal was never just corporate dominance or the colonization of space. These were merely stepping stones. What he truly desired was immortality. But how far would he go to achieve it? And did he ever truly understand the forces he was meddling with? In this deep dive, we will explore Peter Weyland's motivations, his belief in the engineers, and how his blind ambition led to his downfall. Chapter 1. Man who wanted more. Peter Weyland was not a typical businessman. He was not satisfied with mere financial success, nor was he interested in the limits imposed by nature. Weyland Corp was founded on this philosophy. Under his leadership, the company revolutionized medicine, artificial intelligence, and space travel. He funded the development of cybernetic enhancements and led the first human missions to the far reaches of the solar system. But none of this was enough. Science had given humans incredible advancements, but it had not yet conquered the greatest enemy of all, death. As he aged, Weyland grew increasingly obsessed with longevity. He funded life extension projects and experimented with radical medical procedures. But despite his wealth and intelligence, time continued its relentless march forward. The one thing he could not control was his own mortality. Chapter 2. When Sorsum Joe and Dr. Charlie Holloway discovered ancient star maps scattered across different civilizations on Earth, Weyland saw something the others didn't. To most, these maps were just historical artifacts, evidence that ancient humans had knowledge of the stars. But Weyland believed they were something more. He saw them as an invitation, an opportunity. If an ancient race, the engineers, had created humanity, then surely they must possess the knowledge of life itself. They must understand how to prolong it, how to perfect it, and perhaps even how to make it eternal. Weyland did not just want to meet the engineers. He wanted to beg for their secrets, to ask them for the one thing he could not obtain on his own. Thus, the Prometheus mission was born. A massive investment of resources, technology, and personnel was dedicated to one objective: finding the engineers and learning the truth. For the rest of the world, it was a historic moment, a mission of discovery. But for Weyland, it was something far more personal. It was his last chance. Hiding in the shadows, though Weyland was officially declared dead before the launch of Prometheus, the truth was very different. He was still alive, though frail and weak. His body was failing him, but his mind was sharper than ever. He had spent years hiding his true condition from the public, refusing to let the world see his decline. While the crew of Prometheus believed they were on a scientific mission, Weyland remained hidden on board, accompanied only by his closest advisors and his synthetic creation, David. Unlike humans, David would never age, never decay, and Weyland envied him. He had built a machine more perfect than himself, yet he still considered David inferior. David, however, was more than just an obedient android. He was the result of Weyland's life's work, the pinnacle of artificial intelligence, and deep down, Weyland wondered, if David could be perfected, could he too become something beyond human? If the engineers denied him, perhaps technology would provide another way. Meeting the gods when the Prometheus team finally uncovered the truth, it was more terrifying than they had ever imagined. The engineers were not benevolent creators. They were not gods who wished to guide humanity. Instead, they had abandoned their creations and left behind only destruction. But Weyland did not care. He had not come for philosophy or history. He had come for answers. And when they discovered a living engineer in stasis, he knew this was his moment. Revived from his sleep, the engineer stood before Weyland, a towering, powerful being that held the secret to humanity's creation. Weyland, frail and near death, approached him, desperate to plead for his life. He believed, with absolute certainty, that the engineers would recognize his brilliance, his achievements, his worth. But he was wrong. The engineer did not see Weyland as an equal. He did not see him as a pioneer or a visionary. To him, Weyland was nothing more than an arrogant, insignificant human. Oh? When Weyland demanded immortality, the engineer's response was swift and brutal. He crushed the old man without hesitation, silencing him forever. Chapter 5. The lesson of hubris. Peter Weyland's story is not just one of ambition, it is a cautionary tale. He believed himself to be a god, but in the end he was just another mortal who reached too far. His greatest mistake was thinking that creation and divinity could be controlled, that he could demand answers from beings far beyond his understanding. His fate was sealed not by nature, not by time, but by his own arrogance. Had he accepted his limitations, he might have used his resources to extend human life in a meaningful way. Instead, he wasted everything on a fantasy, on a belief that he was destined for more. But in the end, death came for him, just as it comes for all men. The impact of Weyland's legacy, Peter Weyland's legacy, is a complex and multifaceted one. On one hand, he was a visionary who pushed the boundaries of science and technology, leaving behind a legacy of innovation and progress. His company, Weyland Corp, revolutionized numerous industries and paved the way for advancements in artificial intelligence, space exploration, and biotechnology. But Weyland's legacy is also tainted by his hubris and the consequences of his actions. His obsession with immortality led him to meddle with forces beyond his understanding, resulting in the deaths of countless people and the near destruction of the Prometheus mission. His actions also had far-reaching implications for the future of humanity, as the discovery of the engineers and their biological weapon raised important ethical and philosophical questions about the nature of creation and the responsibilities of creators. Weyland's legacy is a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of humility in the face of the unknown. His story serves a cautionary tale for future generations, warning them of the perils of playing God and the consequences of seeking to transcend the natural order. Chapter 7. The ethical dilemmas of immortality. Peter Weyland's quest for immortality raises important ethical questions about the nature of life and death. Is it right for humans to seek to conquer death, or is mortality an essential part of the human experience? What are the consequences of extending human life indefinitely, and who should have access to such technology? Weyland's obsession with immortality also raises questions about the responsibilities of creators. As the founder of Weyland Corp and the creator of David, Weyland had the power to shape the future of humanity. But with great power comes great responsibility, and Weyland's actions demonstrate the dangers of wielding that power without regard for the consequences. The ethical dilemmas posed by Weyland's quest for immortality are not just theoretical, they have real-world implications. As advancements in biotechnology and artificial intelligence continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, we must grapple with the ethical implications of these technologies and the responsibilities that come with them. Chapter 8. The future of humanity. Peter Weyland's story is ultimately a reflection of humanity's deepest fears and desires. His quest for immortality is a manifestation of our collective fear of death and our desire to transcend the limitations of our mortal existence. But his story also serves as a reminder of the importance of humility and the need to respect the natural order. As we continue to push the boundaries of science and technology, we must remember the lessons of Weyland's story. We must strive to use our knowledge and power responsibly, with an awareness of the consequences of our actions. We must also remember that there are some things that are beyond our control, and that the pursuit of immortality may come at a great cost. The future of humanity is uncertain, but one thing is clear. We must approach it with humility, respect, and a deep understanding of the ethical implications of our actions. Only then can we hope to create a future that is worthy of the legacy we leave behind. Conclusion: Peter Weyland's journey was one of brilliance and blindness. He gave humanity technological wonders, but he himself failed to grasp the most fundamental truth of all. Mortality is an inescapable part of existence. His search for immortality led only to destruction, and his name, despite all his achievements, would ultimately be forgotten. The universe does not care for ambition. It does not reward arrogance, and gods do not grant wishes. But perhaps the greatest lesson of Weyland's story is that the pursuit of knowledge and power must be tempered by humility and respect for the natural order. Only then can we hope to achieve a future that is both prosperous and sustainable, a future that honors the legacy of those who came before us and respects the limits of our own mortality. Further expansion: to further expand on the story of Peter Weyland, we must explore the broader implications of his actions and the impact they had on the world around him. Weyland's quest for immortality was not just a personal journey. It was a reflection of humanity's deepest fears and desires. His story raises important questions about the nature of life, death, and the limits of human ambition. Chapter 9. The psychology of ambition. Peter Weyland's relentless ambition can be traced back to his early childhood. Born into a family of immense wealth and privilege, Weyland was exposed to the highest echelons of society from a young age. However, rather than being content with his inherited status, Weyland was driven by a desire to prove himself. He sought to create a legacy that was entirely his own, one that would overshadow the achievements of his ancestors. This drive for recognition and immortality was not just a product of his environment, it was deeply rooted in his psychology. Weyland's fear of death and oblivion was a constant undercurrent in his life, driving him to achieve more and more. His obsession with immortality was, in many ways, a manifestation of his fear of being forgotten. Weyland's psychological profile is a fascinating study in the extremes of human ambition. His need to control every aspect of his life, from his health to his legacy, reveals a deep-seated insecurity. Despite his outward confidence and success, Weyland was haunted by the fear of failure and the unknown. Chapter 10. The role of technology in Weyland's vision. Technology played a central role in Peter Weyland's vision for the future. He saw it as the ultimate tool for achieving his goals, whether they were extending human life, exploring the cosmos, or creating artificial intelligence. Weyland Corp became a symbol of technological innovation, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. One of Weyland's most significant technological achievements was the creation of David, an advanced synthetic being with human-like intelligence and emotions. David represented the pinnacle of Weyland's technological prowess, but he also embodied the ethical dilemmas that come with creating life. Weyland's relationship with David was complex. He saw him as both a masterpiece and a tool, a reflection of his own genius and a means to an end. Weyland's reliance on technology also highlights the potential dangers of placing too much faith in it. His belief that technology could solve all of humanity's problems, including death, blinded him to the ethical and moral implications of his actions. In his pursuit of immortality, Weyland overlooked the fact that technology, no matter how advanced, cannot provide all the answers. Chapter 11. The philosophical implications of Peter Weyland's quest for immortality raises profound philosophical questions about the nature of existence. What does it mean to be human? Is mortality an essential part of the human experience, or is it a limitation that can and should be overcome? Weyland's story forces us to confront these questions and consider the implications of transcending our biological limitations. Weyland's belief that he could achieve immortality through technology and the knowledge of the engineers reflects a broader philosophical trend: the desire to control and dominate nature. This mindset, which sees nature as something to be conquered rather than respected, has far-reaching consequences for how we interact with the world around us. The philosophical implications of Weyland's quest also extend to the concept of